Good morning and warm welcome to each and everyone. Today we will be continuing our part 2 and we'll be finalizing it today. Part 2 of our blog applications using Django framework. So, in the previous part, we had seen that we had created a application called blog, and in that block we created one models.py file, and we had created one post, and in admin.py we have written this list display, list filter, search fields and pre-populated fields in our admin panel. Okay, now as we have done with the writing of the database, I mean creating of our table, we have also displayed this in our actual admin panel. Now it's time to write the particular views. So as I had said you that model means database, then template means HTML files, and views means the connecting code. Here we will be using the object relational mapping things. Okay, object relational mapping things means here we will be writing the query. For example, select star from post table. Okay, this is our query. So for that, suppose this is our query, like select star from table. Okay, suppose our table is from our table name, that is post. This is how we will be writing the query. And if I want to add particularly where, okay, id equals to something something, like we can be ordering that. So this is our query. But when we go for writing the query in the form of object relational mapping, we won't write it something like this. So this is called object relational mapping. When I say post, post is our table dot objects dot all. When I say this, it means that we are writing the same query as this one. This is normal query. This is normal query, and this one is the object relational mapping query. Okay, this is uh, this is what that our object relational query will be working as. So this is how we have to write our queries now. So almost all will be writing our queries in this particular way itself. Now, as we are writing in this way, so in our views, we'll be writing the same things. Okay, we'll be writing the same things. Okay, so just a minute, let me just try to add certain things over here. Okay, so before moving to that, as you all know that we will be working on this particular model, which is post. So I have to fetch that. I have to fetch that from my, as we were fetching in our admin panel, from dot models import post. Okay, this is one thing I want to fetch. And one more thing, Django comes up with Django views, which comes up under generic views. Okay, so this I'll explain you what all things can be done from Django dot views. Okay, we'll be importing import generic. Okay, now see this. If you remember, I had said you in our Python session, we'll be writing either functional based coding or class based coding. So either one of them will be calling over here. So the first thing that I'll do here is writing a class, because I want to display a post list. Okay, writing it in the camel casing, and here I'll take generic dot list view. This is inbuilt option where we can directly add the view to be looking in this way. Then query set equals to post dot objects dot filter. See automatically how the code is been given. Filter where I want to status. Okay, status will not come because it's one of the model field, this one. Okay, where status equals to published it should be. That's why I'm taking model, and it should be order by created, and it should be ordered by minus created underscore on, where I'll be ordering it in the form of template. So this is the ORM query that I have written, object relational mapping query. Now, so if you remember what I had said for views, I had said that we will be writing the views to connect the database with the HTML files. So what we have written here, a database query, which means database query is been written. It will fetch all these kinds of objects. Now to connect it to the database, I have to write the template name. So I'll just take the template name in this way. Okay, so I'll take index.html, and that is what my file name will be. Okay, let me just create a folder itself for it, so that we can separate it. I'll say blog slash index.html, or you can directly give index.html itself. Both of them are enough. So this is for displaying the list of posts that we have added from our admin panel. Now next thing, class, okay, post detail. It means that, let me just show you what actually happens here. I had given you the example yesterday related to entrepreneurs.com. Okay, so I am writing the details because suppose this is the title we are having. When we click on it, it opens a detail page of it. Okay, it opens a detail page. So this is what I am writing the query for. So the query is written for this purpose. Okay, detail view generic dot detail view, and that's it. Again the same thing, for which model I am trying to write the detail view. Model equals to capital post. Then again here the template name that I want to display, template name equals to blog dot post underscore detail dot html. So I have written this small query which says that first we'll be displaying the list of it, then when someone clicks on the title, it should take us to the particular detail page. Now the overall thing, for example, if I want to explain you this one, this is the built-in list views which is actually a subclass of generic class based views, which will render a list with the objects of the specified model. Okay, and we just need to mention the template name. Okay, this is our template name. And detail view provides a detail view for a given of object of the model at the provided template. And if you note that post list view, we have applied a filter so that only the post with status 1, which means publish, should be shown at the front end of our blog. Okay, also in the same query we have arranged all the posts by minus sign before the created one, which signifies the latest post would be at the top, and so on. Now once we have done this, the next step is to add the URLs for these particular templates. Okay, URLs means I should now give some links. When those links are clicked or typed, it should open these particular pages. Okay, I have to mention the links. Okay, now we will be creating a new file called urls.py file in our blog folder. See ya, in our blog folder, and here I'll write our queries, sorry, our from dot import views. Okay, what I'm doing, because we have written these views, I'll be calling it over here. Okay, I want all the views to be here. From dot import views, then from Django dot urls, okay, import path. Once I have imported the path, I'll be writing the URL patterns. Okay, URL patterns, one more thing that you can do is you can just go to my site urls.py. The same thing, you can just copy this from here also, and no need of wasting your time. Path here, if I give nothing, then it means that I am providing localhost 8000 or 127.1.1 of that itself, 8000. Okay, if I add something, then I have to write here something. Okay, first of all I'll be writing something over here from views. Okay, I want to call from my views page this view. Let me close this main one, this one. See ya, blog urls.py I'm working on. I'll say views. Okay, views dot, in views we have post list. Okay, can you see, in views we have post list. For this, as view, then make this as a function for views, comma, name equals to home. Okay, I'll make this as home. Now I'll copy the same thing, paste it below for our details. Here, remember I had said that we will be taking our slug now. Okay, we'll be using the slug for our URL purpose. So here I'll just take slug colon slug colon slug. Then here I'll be taking our post detail as view, and I'll name this as post underscore detail. So whatever name I'm providing, we will be using that as our slugs. Okay, now I have added this one in our blog urls.py. Now what if I have to go to my site main URLs also, because we are using, because our app name is blog, so I'll take path, then I'll include nothing, single quotes, comma, and here I want to include, and here I'll say include. Our app name is blog, and within that I have urls.py. So for this I'll say blog dot urls, okay, comma. See here, if I had given something over here, then it means I have to write localhost 8000 slash admin. I used to give something like this. But if I am not giving any name over here, then it means that it is our home page. It is our home page. So we don't have to type anything else over there. So we have mapped our general patterns from for our views using the path function, and the first pattern takes an empty string denoted by with the this one simple. So essentially a list of posts for our homepage, and at last we have an optional parameter name, which is basically a name for the view which will later be used in our templates. Now names are optional, okay, these are optional thing. If you want you can provide it, if you not you can leave it, no issue in that. But we can use this for our URL purpose for constructing. I mean, names are an optional parameter, but it is a good practice to give unique and rememberable names to views, which makes our work easy while designing templates, and it helps keep things organized as your number of URL are going to grow. And next, what we did, we had written the code over here. Then next we have the generalized expression for our post detail views. Then we had created our own, uh, added the path to our main URLs. Now once we have added the overall things to our path, now it's time for creating the templates. Okay, I have created, just remember, let me close everything now. Okay, save it, saving it, saving the views, closing it, then admin panel, closing it, model, also closing it. Okay, just it is a nice practice that when you have completed your work from one part of the file, then just make sure you close it so that we can just watch out what are the next things. So now as we want to cover up our, we have created our model, we have created our views, now it's time to create our templates. Okay, to create templates, first of all go to my site settings.py. Okay, from here go for looking out for templates. Okay, go for looking out for templates, and in the templates, dirs, we don't have anything. It means that it will look for searching our templates. So what I'll do here is I'll go to base dir, which means our basic folder, slash, and search my HTML files in this folder, and search my HTML in this particular folder. So this folder is not available anywhere, as you can see. Okay, so make sure you create the templates folder here. Okay, here. Okay, like blog, my site, we should have one more folder called templates. So I'll right click on it, on this, watch this, on this main site, right click on it, new folder, then templates, enter it. In this way this should be the folder structure: blog, my site, templates, dbsqlite3 managed.py. Okay, should be available here. So we are making the settings saying that there is a templates folder, find all our HTML files inside of that. Okay, and once I do the setting, just close this one. And one more thing, that if you see in our views, we are saying that you can find this HTML file inside our blog. Okay, blog. So it means that I have to create one more folder in my templates, and within this I'll be creating both the files, which is index.html file, new file. Okay, then I have, this is my file which is created, index.html. Then one more file which is post.html. Post, right click on it, new file, post detail.html. So here I have now two files written, and I have created the overall things. So here I need one more file. I click on it, new file, base.html file. So see here, what I'll be doing here is I'll be having, because if you know that uh, I have to write only the logic, and each and every part of our code should be written from somewhere, So that's why I'll take the bootstrap link. So I'll be taking the bootstrap link CDN, and I'll be hard coding it in my way, how I want to make it look. Okay, so this is one way. Okay, so these are our files. Views is also done. Okay, see here, we are inside our particular file. Okay, what we can do here is either we can go for coding it, hard coding it, or we can just go for taking the CDN. So what I'll do, I'll just go to bootstrap. I'll go to bootstrap 5, and click on the first version. Let me just select 5.2, the latest version, or you can select whatever you want. And this is the starter template that I want to get. I have taken this. I'll be adding each and every part in my coding. I have taken this. Then one more part that I have to take is my poppers one. Then right after the body. Okay, one thing, if the code goes outside of this line, you don't have to scroll it something like this. Okay, you don't have to scroll it something like this. Instead of that, what we can do is click on view, click on word wrap, then all the code will lie in our center part. Okay, so this is how I have written the code. Now I'll remove everything from here. I don't need hello world. Instead of that, I'll I want innovatum blocks. Then let me just save it, and I can just add the later on things over there. Okay, let me just go for having a navbar from the components. That is our components, and here we have navbar. Okay, I'll copy this code. Okay, go to my right after the body, Control V, save it. As you all know that we can write each and everything in this particular way, but I'll be just changing the things in our navbar, expand lg, I'll say navbar light, navbar light, bg light, bg light. Let me just take a shadow of it, shadow. Okay, that much is enough for me. I have changed this thing. Even if you want, you can just go for changing that one. And here in the navbar, I'll just say innovatum blocks. And to this one, I'll add my reference. Okay, just watch what I am doing here. This is my reference. If you remember in URLs, I had taken home, okay, in my URLs. So in the base, now I'll be writing our URLs in this particular way. URL, okay, it's home. This is how we'll be writing our URLs now. URL, this is called Jinja coding. This is called Jinja coding of or writing of our files. Okay, then here I'm just simply creating the files. If you want, you can just go for creating any number of files. I'll be just taking home, I think so. Okay, let it be home itself. I'll just copy the same thing from here, home. I'll have given the same URL for home, and I don't require this one. Instead of this, I require about. Okay, then I want policies. Okay, you can give anything, or I want one more, which will be contact. Save it, and here we will be having a form, which is button. Let me just give this a light one. Okay, now I want to check out how this looks. So I'll be doing cd, okay, my site, then python manage.py run server. When I do this, now watch our yesterday's output, which is localhost 8000. When I say this is a blank output that we are getting. Okay, now, okay, we are getting a blank output now. Let's do this. And to do this, I have overall added the navbar, and here I'll be using the Jinja code. Jinja code will be something like, I will not be writing the overall these because in every page I require this one, like I require the navigation bar, I require the footer, so I can't go for writing it in each and every code every time. Okay, so instead of that, I'll just take a block of content. Okay, then I'll be ending the block here, end block. Okay, so sorry, end block content. So if I have written this, then it means that now we would not find anything. I mean, whatever content will be written according to the files will be changed from there. Okay, now I require a footer with a class of let me just take class py by 3 bg gray, and within that I'll be having a paragraph. I'll have a paragraph with a simple name, with class of m margin of 0, text dark, which means black color, and then text center. So I have written everything whatever I wanted to write. So I'll just take copy, write, ampersand copy, then I'll just say innovatum blocks. Okay, I have written the footer also here. Now where I have written, so as you can see that we are writing something over here which is an irregular file except for the tags inside the curly braces. These are called the template tags, and uh, I think this one, the block of content, is going to define a block that can be overridden by any of the child templates, and this is where the content from other HTML file will get injected. Okay, next we will make a small what we can say is if we require we can create it, but if we are not uh, requiring it, then we can just ignore it. Either we can create a sidebar or we can just ignore it. So in this tutorial I have just ignored the sidebar. If you want, I'll be sharing the documents for you people so that you people can write inside that. Now for this we can also go for injecting it, but not now, because our main focus should be on our index file. Okay, this is how I don't have to write each and every time our user navigation bar and footer and everything. We don't have to write it every time. So it will now make us go to our index.html. In our index.html, because everything CDN and all these things are written inside our base.html, so that's the reason I want to extend extends here blog slash base.html. So as you can see in templates, blog base.html. Now, so here, if you remember, I had written something which used to say me block of content. When I write the same thing over here, okay, when I write the same thing over here and end the block of content below, you'll find out that whatever now content I want to write will be written inside of this one. Okay, will be written inside of this particular code. Okay, so if I want to display anything, it depends on us, like how I want to display the things over here. Okay, first of all I'll go to my HTML part, which is a header. Okay, header, and it must have a class called master header, masthead. Okay, then after this we will be having a division of class overlay, then I'll be ending it here itself. Then I will be having a division class container, and within this container I'll be having one more div with a class called row, if you remember. Then here to my class row I'll be taking my div class call of md8, call of md8, then call of md10, where mx margin will be auto. And once I have given this, then I'll be providing my heading div class site heading, then within this I'll be providing my heading in h3, saying with the class of site heading my of 4, empty of 3, text of white, which will say innovatum, welcome to my awesome blocks. Okay, that is how simple we can do. Okay, then I just want to finalize this header, ending it over here. This is our header part. Now after this I'll be taking one more container, dev class container. Now let me take one more dev class row, end it over here, and from here our entry starts. Okay, from here our entry is going to start for our blocks that we have written in our backend. Okay, in our backend. So this is what we have done. That is, let me just take this dev class call md of 8, then empty of 3, then it should be always stored on the left hand side. Okay, so this is what we need to do. And now see here, I'll be now calling the list from our views. Okay, I'll be calling this inside a for each loop so that we can display our all the posts. Okay, so here I'll be taking a for loop for post in post underscore list. This is how it looks now, post underscore list. And to end it, always this is how I prefer writing the coding, where whenever I'll be opening any for loop or something, I go for closing it right after that. Okay, that will be a good effect. So for post and post list, and finally I'll be writing a dev class. I'll be creating a card with MB of 4. MB means margin bottom of 4. Then directly we'll be having our div class card body, whatever kind of card you want to display. Or else if you're facing issues while typing, then you can just directly go for copying a card from your bootstrap components. Okay, I had already shown you all those things. Then inside the card body I have an h2 with a class of card title, and this inside of this I'll be writing my Jinja coding, saying that post, then this one will be from our views. That is, I want to display the title here. I'll say post dot title. Here it is. Then we can have one more thing. I can have paragraph, class card dot txt. Here I can just use a text muted one of h6. Okay, so here I can have post dot author. Then here again I'll be having post dot created underscore on, which is the date. Now after this I want to display a paragraph. So this paragraph can have class card text with a paragraph of, see here, now because I have written the lengthy paragraphs in my content, so I'll say post dot content. So if I display such long thing in my paragraph, then it will overwrite. So instead of that I'll be using this slicing method. Okay, I'll be using this slicing method, and here I'll be creating a anchor h reference tag, which will now proceed. If someone clicks on this read more, it will take us to our URL post underscore detail, and here it should be post dot slug, and end it. And I'll be taking a class over here, class here btn primary. Let me take a btn primary, and to this one I'll say read more. When I say yes, we have ended everything, we have ended the block and all sort of things. That's it. This is our final coding. Now let us check out in our, okay, you can see this is how our output displays now. Okay, and if I click on this, see here, it is taking me with a URL. It is taking me with a URL saying that this is our immense post details. So we haven't added anything over here. So we will just have a look on it, how we can do this. Okay, just one more thing. I just want to, add certain amount of designing to my particular this one, so that it looks good when we'll be working, when we see it. Okay, so for that I'll be writing some style. Then within the style, for the body, I require a font family of roboto. Okay, then providing a comma, then I want a sans serif, that much is enough. Then I want a font size of 18px. Then I want a background color of hash fd. Okay, kind of a normalized white one. Then I want one more for dot head text. For head text I want color equals to be white. Then for the card dot card, for this card I want some box shadow 016px 48px, and the color should be hash capital E3 E7 EB. Okay, this is the color that I want. Okay, this you can choose any color of your requirement, but it depends on our look. Okay, now you can see, now it is looking something different, in a way very different itself. Okay, now before moving to that, let me also add something over here in my few of the things that I want to add. For the styles, I want some body. In my base.html, I'll go inside of my header tag. I'll say style. Okay, I want the body here as 17 or 18 pixel. Let me just take 17 over here. Then I want a shadow where it will be having a box shadow of 0 4 px 2 px, then minus 2 px. Then if you want any RGBA color, then I'll be setting that 0 comma 0 comma 0 comma 0.1, and that's it. It is something like a black kind of a shadow I have provided. Now then I should be having a BTN danger means I can give a red color or something. Anyhow, it always will be having the color itself. Okay, instead of this, because BTN color already has the color, so I'll just go for master head, and here I'll be taking a background of hash 3398 E1, then which is a kind of a this one. Then after this I will be having a height of auto. Then after this I'll be having a padding bottom of 15 px. Then I'll be having a box shadow again, box shadow of 016 px space 48 px. The same color I'll be using, hash e3 e3 e7 then eb. That should be the this thing, kind of a blue. So padding, we have padding top. Then to this padding top I'll be using padding of px. Now let's just check out the changes. Okay, now you can see how this looks, because we had kept this welcome to my awesome blogs. Now also we have our copyright below, as you can see. Okay, instead of this one, in my footer, let me just take an ampersand, so that it will give us, instead of this dollar, it will give us a copyright, this one. Okay, innovatums blog, and this is how it looks perfect. If I want to increase the size of it, then we can see how beautiful this looks. The readability, each and everything looks perfect. Welcome to my awesome blogs. This is our particular thing. Okay, now once I have written this, I have written this. uh, we have created our index page now. Now the next thing is that we can now directly go for creating our particular post detail. When we click on it, it should open a post detail page. Okay, so this looks perfect and good. Finally, I'll go to my second page, that is post detail.html. So everything I'll be taking the same, like extends, block content and all in a post detail block content. And finally I'll copy the final ending part of also this, so that we won't waste our time. Paste it. Now here I'll be taking a div class of container, then closing of it. Then here again I'll be taking a div class of row. Then finally here also I'll be taking a card, div class card. Okay, instead of this I'll take call md of 8 with a card with mba of 4, margin bottom of 4, then empty of 3. It should be left and it should be given as the top of one. Okay, finally I'm done. Then I'll be taking one more div with a class of card body. Then here I'll be having my heading here. Let me just give a title over here. Within the title itself, it should be given something like this. If I'm trying to add a title, block title. Okay, then within this I'll be now calling our object. Okay, I'll say object dot title. So save it and end our block over here, spacing this, paste it, end block title, end block title. Okay, now after this I'll be taking a paragraph with a class of text muted. Okay, then here we'll be having the post author and created on, as we were having over here. The same thing this way I can add it. Now finally we'll be having this paragraph also, but this time in our I'll not be displaying in our details page. I'll not be displaying any sort of, instead of this I'll display safe means even though if you are writing it from somewhere, this will help us. Suppose if you are using some, what you see is what you get editors in our uh, backend of our admin panel, then at that time this safe will help us to display the data. Okay, so this is finally the end. Now watch this, how beautifully this will look. Okay, when I refresh, what I had said you that our this page, which is this one, which is our, okay, let me just change our, in base.html, in my navbar, let me just go back this to from online to success itself. Okay, save it. Okay, for success. Okay, this is how we can create it. Now I had said you that this one, which is our navbar, this one which is our footer, should never be changing whenever we'll be moving from one page to another page. So when I click on this, now you can see that the content remains same. Okay, so instead of this, if I just take in my post detail, instead of 8, let me just take 12, so that it fills the overall page itself. Okay, this is how beautifully we display the content. And if I click on home, you can see, if I click on this one, watch how to return your event. Watch this. This is our how to return your event. So this is how beautifully we can go for adding our particular blogging site. This is a dynamic blogging site that we have displayed. And for example, if I just go to our home page also, you can see, for example, let me go to our localhost admin, and in the post I had created one more. Let me create one more from entrepreneurs itself, entrepreneurs.com. Let me create this one, the 15 best entrepreneurs. I'll be adding it over here, then it will be added to our, now the content can be written in this way. Copy this, paste it over here, then publish, then save. Okay, now I had added. Now when I refresh the page, you can see the content is being written down over here. This is how beautifully we can write the particular content. This is our blogging site. And if I want this also to be index page instead of this, let me just take this as 12 and refresh. This goes down to the full width. If you want, you can design as much as you can, as you want. This is our blogging site. And if you want to add images also, even we can go for adding the images also in this. So this is our final output that we wanted to display, and I hope so you enjoyed the session over here. So if you have any doubts, please let me know.